Anticipate those rates to be maintained and to increase today. And I want to thank our health detectives for doing some amazing work overnight. Dr. Chant will be able to provide some more information, but our health detectives have been able to locate the original source of the infection and the likely way or potential way that it may have been transmitted. And I'll ask Dr. Chant to comment about that. Overnight, in addition to the one case we spoke about yesterday, the man in his 50s, his wife has now been tested positive as well. The balance of his close contacts are negative. So whilst, of course, we remain on high alert, pleasingly at this stage, nobody else has been identified as being a positive case. But we know that the incubation period of this virus is 14 days, and so everybody has to be on high alert moving forward, especially over the next few days. As a precautionary measure, the New South Wales Government, based on health advice, will be taking the following measures, which will be enforceable from 5 p.m. today. However, we do ask everybody to start doing these things from now, but obviously we want to give people some time. So from 5 o'clock today, we ask that you welcome no more than 20 people into your home. And these restrictions or some measures will be in place until Monday morning, midnight Monday morning. So essentially, for 5 o'clock today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we ask that nobody welcome more than 20 people into your home. We know that transmission in the family home is a high risk. And I appreciate that it's Mother's Day, but we also appreciate that 20 people within the home is manageable for people to celebrate that important day. There'll be no singing or dancing in indoor venues. This includes places of worship and obviously entertainment venues. The exception is weddings. We recommend that only 20 people at a time be on the dance floor. But outside of weddings, there'll be no singing in congregations, no dancing, apart from obviously the performers in a show. In relation to mask wearing at indoor places will be compulsory for the next 3 days. Public transport, if you're going to the supermarket, any indoor event will require compulsory mask wearing, in addition to hospitality workers and people serving you. So obviously you can go and have a meal, you can go and enjoy a hospitality venue, but the workers will be expected to wear a mask for the next 3 days. In addition to that, we also want to make sure that people are just sensible. Make sure you maintain your good social distancing. Make sure you avoid large events if you're vulnerable, and make sure you exhibit good hand hygiene. And most importantly, make sure if you have the mildest of symptoms, you come forward and get tested, or if you're deemed to be a close contact, that you not only get tested but stay isolated and await health advice during that incubation period. And what is really critical to all of us in New South Wales is to make sure that we're on alert. The measures I've just spoken about will only be relevant for Greater Sydney area, so Central Coast, Greater Sydney and down to the Illawarra. So anyone outside of those areas is business as usual, but as a precautionary measure, we'll be putting in these restrictions over the next 3 days. But as you know, we've not affected the number of people that can be at a venue. We've not touched the square metre rule or anything like that. But what we are doing as a precaution is saying if you're catching public transport, if you're at an indoor event, indoor venue, please wear a mask. And of course, for aged care workers, it means only 2 visitors, and it also means mask wearing, especially to protect the most vulnerable. We believe this is a proportionate response to the risk we have ahead of us. I do want to thank in particular this couple who exercised and used their QR codes, and we cannot tell you how useful the QR codes were in relation to identifying people who may have been at various venues or identifying close contacts. The QR codes is what is allowing New South Wales to have a proportionate response, in addition to, of course, the wonderful work done by our health detectives. So just to reiterate, over the next 3 days, there will be compulsory mask wearing. Household visitors will be limited to 20. No singing or dancing indoors, but for weddings, where we recommend no more than 20 on the dance floor at any given time. And I should also add that as a precaution, we're recommending that if anybody is going to a bar, that are all drinking indoors, be seated. So as an extra precaution, over the next 3 days, if you're going to a bar, get your drink, but sit down instead of mingling to prevent any potential transmission. So I just want to thank again for people adhering to the advice. We know that when we do give advice, people adopt a common sense approach. We know when we do give advice that people respect that. And again, I'm asking for our citizens, especially in that Greater Sydney area, Central Coast, Sydney and down to the Illawarra, to take these measures on board. They come into effect from 5 p.m. today and will last until Monday midnight Monday morning. However, we do ask that between now and then you adopt them. We appreciate some people are already at work, and we appreciate that people have already made decisions for the day. We will be enforcing this from 5 o'clock. However, we do recommend, if you're in a position to be able to adopt these changes from now, from upon hearing of them and learning of them, please make sure you do that. We've been very careful not to impact unnecessarily businesses and others who might have already made arrangements over the weekend, but we do ask citizens and workers to be extra cautious and to adopt that compulsory mask wearing. I'll now ask Dr. Chant to disclose some of the good work the health team has been doing in relation to the virus, and then Minister Hazzard will also make some remarks regarding the health orders and how important it is for people to comply and how important it is for everybody to use your QR codes. And if you're a business, we will be having extra compliance officers to make sure QR codes are readily displayed, people understand what is COVID safe in that venue, to keep all of us safe. Thank you.